probably my favorite thing is that we touch so many different people. You know, it's not the same 20 people every we just get to meet so many individuals and get to know them and their families and their staff, you know, their providers. It's just that's probably the best part. Yeah. So many people, every trip is different because you can't ever plan a trip and go, okay, this is what's going to happen because we all know it's not. So, that's what kind of keeps it exciting. And, those are, like you said, it can be stressful. The trips can be stressful trying to keep, a hold of everybody and money and all that stuff. But then it's also fun to come back and kind of go, oh my gosh, can't believe what just happened today. Because everybody understands, oh my gosh, really? That just happened? Yeah. Oh no. So that... but really just all the different people that we meet.
Hey everybody, this is Tony.
And this is Paul. We're coming at you from the Friends for Life podcast, where we discuss the ongoing lives and issues of people with developmental disabilities to spark positive change in the field.
And we have a lot of fun doing it.
Making sure that individuals are reaching the goals they have set for themselves. That's one of the many goals of Assured Health Services. If you're looking for a residential care provider or searching for ADS services, Assured Health is your go-to place. Assured Health, helping others succeed. Learn more at assuredhealthohio.com or call 419-442-8066. Kathy, welcome to the Friends for Life podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're excited. We're out here in Dayton. It's a beautiful day. We're supposed to have a blizzard tomorrow, so we're going to get into...
I actually saw some sun on the way down here. It was overcast, but it was something.
That was very lucky because we have not had sun. It's been very dreary.
Oh, man.
Even the snow on Sunday was kind of gray.
Yeah. Well, so the first things first, how did you end up working here at the county board? Because, not everybody gets into this disabilities field. As we kind of talked about earlier, disabilities stuff is always kind of tucked away and hidden. So what brought you here?
Well, I've been in the field for a really long time. Actually, we can go way back, but it'll be a quick story. When I was in college, I was a physical education major, kindergarten through 12th grade. And luckily, part of my training was we had to take a class where you worked with children who had some type of disability. Mm-hmm. So when I did that, I decided this is really more what I want to do instead of teaching, working with the quote normal kids. Yep. I just really fell in love with it. So I taught adapted phys ed for many years. Did a few other things. I worked at a couple different county boards doing teaching and doing a few other things. And then I moved, I've always lived in Montgomery County. Mm-hmm. So then I took the job here in Montgomery County and I worked at a day program. And then the county they stopped operating their day programs and everything kind of privatized. And then I took this job with the recreation department. So I've done a lot of things. And
yeah. It's good to have a broad range of things that you do. So what's the recreation program look like here in Montgomery County specifically? Because I don't even know if we have that in Toledo, honestly. I never heard of it.
Honestly, Montgomery is one of the few counties that have a big expanded rec program. Mm-hmm. There are counties that they kind of dabble in rec, or do a lot of community things, but I think that we are one of the few that we kind of have this bigger department and we do things. So our rec program is kind of twofold. Okay. We have a children's program, 6 years to 17, and then we also have 18 and up, our adult program. So the children's program, heavy into weekend respites to give families a break. We work with a lot of children who have challenging behaviors. We run a summer camp in the summertime. Mm-hmm. Those things have changed a little during COVID. Our numbers have gotten smaller. We didn't want to bring a lot of kids in the building. We're slowly working on building that back up. So lots of respite, summer camp. We also do community outings, jump zone, paintball, laser tag, just all the fun stuff that kids want to do. Mm-hmm. Dragons games, we have the Dayton Dragons here, kind of like the Toledo Mud Hens up there. Do a lot of Dragons games, Cincinnati Reds with the kids, Cedar Point, Kings Island, just anywhere. Plus little things like we'll do paint your own pottery make cupcakes, decorate a cake. Just like it's a huge variety of stuff.
Yeah.
Our adult program, much the same, tons of community outings. We like to be out in the community. We do kind of in-house dances, though. We have 100+ people. We do that. We run 3 bowling leagues. And again, still, a lot of this stuff has not started back up since COVID, but we're working on it. It's a gradual.
THS Remote Supports is clearly focused on improving independent living through dynamic and personalized services. Their systems have been carefully developed and perfected to ensure that everyone receives the best care through the least intrusive means possible. Located in Cincinnati, Ohio, they've spent over 20 years providing in-home supports to individuals with disabilities. If you or someone you know is looking for a remote service provider, go to thsrs.com or call 513-882-9088.
So you're like a professional play.
Yeah,
we do. We do. We love our jobs because we do play a lot.
Yeah. And honestly, this is one of the reasons I got into residential care and loved it so much, because every day going in just felt like normal life. And,
right.
And you have a companion or somebody by your side going through normal life.
You're right.
And once you two figure out each other's yin and yang of things, you realize that you like the same things. You just are outspoken about it a lot more different.
Right.
So in the question that is next with that, how is this typically funded? Because I'm sure that's a reason a lot of counties can't do it the same way.
Right.
Is funding. Do you know anything about the funding process?
The recreation program is levy funded.
Okay.
In Montgomery County, there is a human resources levy that there is funding for several different agencies. Montgomery County Board of Developmental Disabilities is one of those agencies that receive those levy dollars, and the rec program is funded through that. Now, that being said, when we take trips, dragons, whatever, the individuals pay for their tickets.
Gotcha.
They are true participants in their community. They are buying their tickets. The county doesn't, pay their entry fees and stuff.
Gotcha.
So the county is paying for vans, for staff, gas.
Which is very helpful, because I'm just looking at it from a provider standpoint. If I had a county board that was assisting in those kind of things, it takes the stress off of me and my staff having to have those things.
Right. And if you have, let's just say you have a home and there are 4 gentlemen who live there. One of them may love the Dayton Dragons or love Kings Island and the roller coasters, and the other 3 don't. Well, that puts you in a little bit of a bind because you almost have to double staff so you can take your one person to do things that they enjoy because the others really don't. Same with the bowling leagues. Then you're not pigeonholing your residents into, well, we're all going to go ahead and do this.
Right.
Gives you a little more flexibility.
How often do you like to do events? Once a week, multiple times a week?
Multiple. When we're up and running pre-COVID, and hopefully I'm really hoping at some point we're going to go. We are post-COVID, and this is great. We run things all the time. On a Saturday, we may be doing 4 different things. We might have a cooking class here in the building. We'll run a bowling league. We'll have a respite, and then we might be taking a trip somewhere.
Beautiful.
Just during the summertime, we run stuff because the kids are out of school. So we do a lot during camp time, but then in the evenings, we're doing a lot of different stuff with our kids because they're home. So it's busy.
Yeah.
When we're going, it's busy. We have 4 full-time staff, and right now we have the ability to have 50 part-time staff. Now we're sitting around 32.
Okay.
So... But it's the staff are awesome. They're the ones that are really going out there, running the programs, working with the individuals.
So I noticed that upon entering the building, this is very different from a lot of county boards that we've been to in the fact that it is an old school, and across the hallway from where we're at, there's a gym.
Yes.
Is that awesome to have with your job?
Gosh. The gym is awesome because we don't have to try to find other space.
Yes.
Yes, and when I worked in Clark County for a long time. That's where my roots are, and they have a whole activity center. And when I first started there's a gym, which is still there, and we actually had our own pool. which was really cool because we didn't have to go try to find pool time somewhere. But yeah, they had a whole residential campus that had all that stuff. But this gym is awesome, especially with our kids, because we have a big bounce house that we blow up on the weekends when they're here for respite. So that takes up half the gym. There's bikes, there's basketball. It's just, we are really lucky.
Yeah, that's amazing. Can we just go do the podcast in the bounce house?
We could.
That would have been awesome.
Bounce house is awesome. That's like a big old kind of blow up bed.
Yeah. So what's, as fun as your job sounds, I'm sure it can be a little bit stressful too. It's a lot of coordinating and stuff like that on the back end too. What's your favorite part about the job? So, what is your favorite thing to do?
Probably my favorite thing is that we touch so many different people. It's not the same 20 people we just get to meet so many individuals and get to know them and their families and their staff, their providers. It's just that's probably the best part. Yeah. So many people, every trip is different because you can't ever plan a trip and go, okay, this is what's going to happen because we all know it's not. So, that's what kind of keeps it exciting. And, those are, like you said, it can be stressful. The trips can be stressful trying to keep, a hold of everybody and money and all that stuff. But then it's also fun to come back and kind of go, oh my gosh, can't believe what just happened today. Because everybody understands, oh my gosh, really? That just happened? Yeah. Oh no. So that... But really just all the different people that we meet and interact with. And it's just so cool because then outside of work, you can go almost anywhere and you're going to know somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. Our guys work working at Kroger. They're everywhere. So, just out in life, you're seeing them, which is cool too.
Now, I'm sure it sounds like you have great family support. What about anybody volunteer-wise? Do you get a lot of volunteers or is it strictly... I'm sorry, I was going to say HPC. Yeah, no. But strictly employer. We are mostly
employee. It's mostly our rec aides.
Okay.
Who help. This my part of my kind of deal with rec is for our individuals who live at home, like the kids and some of our younger adults who are still at home, recreation's a nice time for them to go be with their friends and to give their parents a little bit of a break. So we encourage, drop them off, when we're doing stuff in-house. Go kind of take care of yourself for a minute. They're good with us. And Eddie, who is in charge of our kids program, probably has the best rapport with our families. The families love him. They trust him. He does a great job.
That's good.
With the kids. So the parents have no problem. We even have parents the first time they'll have a 6-year-old and we're doing respite and they'll say, well, we really don't like to leave. And we're like, well, come on in and watch. And then, so they come in, they're like, all right, this is okay. So then, they get a couple hours to themselves, even if it's grocery shopping, even if it's taking a nap, it's cool.
The Reliable Drug and Alcohol Testing Clinic is a leading provider and convenient source of pre-employment and occupational type testing. Their clinic provides services to a wide range of private businesses, healthcare facilities, and municipal and county courts. Reliable is an independent, locally owned clinic. As a result, they provide their services at a lower cost than the major hospitals, have faster turnaround times on test results, and eliminate the long waits typically incurred at these larger facilities. To learn more, visit reliabledrugtest.com.
Just clear your mind for a minute.
Exactly. Right.
I'm a huge proponent of getting active. It's just a lot. It's good for your body. It's good for your mind. And especially with people with disabilities, I'm sure that it's a little bit of more of a challenge to get active. So So how do you go about, adapting things so that people with disabilities can still have that fun exercise time, be out there moving because it's so good for you?
It is. I can talk about during COVID how we handled that. We switched immediately to tons of Zoom. And we offered 2 exercise classes a day. One of our rec aides ran the classes, and he was just able to adapt everything to, hey, you want to do this sitting? Here's what you do. You want to stand? Just anything, get moving. So when we are in the community and we're doing, like if we're doing a Zumba class, it's the same thing. We have staff there just going, if you're not comfortable with this, just move. All you have to do is move your arms. We do a Zumba, and it's the same thing, or like if you don't want, just move something, it's just that. And then people, I think, aren't so discouraged if they're not able to do everything that's kind of being asked, but just move. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Anything's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Move it.
I agree, 100%.
So,
and it's kind of like one of those things, like with moving around and stuff. If you don't do it a lot, you don't get used to it.
You're right.
You're like, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
And so I think it's important for we're not a very active society nowadays.
We're not. And COVID did not help with that.
No.
And that's what we're finding as we get back to some of our normal routines. And especially, I also work with Special Olympics. That has been very challenging. Everybody, they want to play basketball. All right, basketball's back. Well, they haven't done anything. For 2 years. So trying to get everybody back in shape where you're not just, sitting on your couch playing video game. That's like kind of, and I mean, not just with our individuals, with our staff too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, okay, guys, let's get going again. That's been a challenge.
Yeah, we're actually trying to get some stuff going where Tony is trying to make me look like a dork on camera, and with the Special Olympics, he's going to try and get me to play some sports, which will be interesting because I'm not a sports fan. I'll say it first and foremost. I'm not a sports guy. I don't know anything about sports. I don't even know the rules. I don't even know how to play. I don't even know how you score a point in football. That's how much not of a sports fan I am.
Okay.
This is going to be so fun,
This
people.
will be fun. Oh, my goodness.
But it's fun to get out in the community and like just have a good time.
It is.
That's a lot of what this field is, I've learned, is like,
Right.
yes, there's hard things. Yes, there's difficult with people have difficult behaviors and stuff
Sure.
occasionally, but everybody just wants to have fun. You want to have fun? I want to have fun. Tony wants to have
Right.
fun.
Girls just want to have fun.
Exactly.
Why would you not want to have fun, especially if you can do it for a living?
That's what we say all the
That's the
time.
biggest question.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, well, I do have a devil's advocate question.
Okay.
Let's say I'm a family and I can't afford to go. Like, what? How do we do that? I mean, anyone might want to go to a baseball game, a hockey game, but if I don't have the funds and I have to pay for it myself,
Right.
Is there anything that the county helps with that with a fund or any fundraising that happens?
We typically in that now again, we're like pre-COVID have not done that. But people can like they don't have to pay the whole $65 right now.
Okay.
If they want to give us $5, $2,
Just something
keep
to
it
show.
real, keep it a little, because you are responsible.
Yes.
You know,
and planning ahead.
Right. If this is something you want to do, and like I always tell our guys, if there's something I want to do, if I want to go to the rec center and take a class, and if I say, well, I really want to take this class, but I don't have the money, they say, well, sorry, you can't. I mean, in life, sometimes you have to pay for things, but I'm not going to say we're lenient, but they can make payments, and that always has seemed to work. Now, that topic has been brought up about, maybe we could do something to help people pay for that. And I think we would really have to look at, because if
the whole legalities behind it.
Right. Well, and if
yes.
somebody's offering to pay for me, I'm going to go, well, sure.
Yeah, why would I be a
wanna
self-advocate for myself anymore if somebody's going to
Right.
advocate financially?
Right.
I get that.
So it's in the past, it's always seemed to work out. They'll, if people pay a little bit off at a time, and that seems to work.
And I appreciate it because it's still accountability. And like we always
Right.
talk about, there's this stigma that we can't hold our individuals accountable or the people that we serve
Right.
accountable, when in real life they are held accountable on a daily basis.
Right.
And when we don't, we can actually see the people who
you're
are,
exactly right.
yeah.
You can, they do, our individuals, but that's only in place to help them, because they all want to be a productive member of their community. They want to be in their community. Well, then you got to give a little too.
Yep.
So, and they all understand that. I think that's part of making them better advocates for themselves. You can't just talk about, it's my right to do that. Well, it is. It's all of us.
Yep.
But
It's your right to pay for it.
It's your right to pay for it too.
If you live in the Toledo area and you'd like to come work with us here at Friends for Life Residential Care, then head over to our website, friendsforliferc.com, and fill out our employment form. We'd love to see you on our team. We also have ads on Facebook. You can check it out there as well. We'd love to work with you.
Well, it's funny because coming into this field completely new on the outside, and like hearing some of the stories Tony's talked about, and like talking to my friends on the outside, they're like, they don't really understand what I do. And then like you talk about disability field, and they're like, what? And I'm like, well, like a conversation I had recently with a friend, he was blown away that someone with a developmental disability could have to go to court like anybody else. And I'm like, yeah, they don't get a free pass just because you have a developmental disability. It's not like a get out of jail free card.
Right.
Like you're still held accountable in every legal sense that there is. There's no like leniency.
We're all citizens, and
I think that's just mind blowing to people who don't know anything about disabilities. And I never thought about that either. I was like, huh.
Oh, me! I've been in the scenario. I have to be in court. Oh man, I loved it. It was like, well, I hated that the individual was there,
right?
But I love court proceedings. The law intrigues me.
Okay.
So it was very interesting to sit and watch a lot of these scenarios in real time. Mm-hmm. And I think the worst part would be like if my client was getting off, like I wouldn't be back.
Right.
to know the outcome.
See what happens. Well, and that's how you learn too.
Yes.
There are consequences for your act. We all have consequences. Mm-hmm. So, hopefully it makes people a better person.
So coming up in this new post-COVID time, and with a lot of things that you all are doing, what is probably the biggest takeoff event that you think is going to really bring everyone back and say like, hey, this is our event. We're done with all of the hiding and all of this time to come out and enjoy yourself. What is that event?
I think we're actually planning to. The last couple years we've always had these big dances. Okay. The last couple years we've done parking lot parties that have been kind of, I mean, it's kind of hot outside. It's all right. But part of our dances are food. Like we have a concession stand available. So a lot of people come because they want to buy food. It's, so we're planning a huge dance in the spring that the food will be back and we'll be inside and it'll be great. And then the other thing at the Dayton Dragons, we're going to rent a party deck. Ooh. So instead of just like 10 seats, we'll have room for 50 people, and it's like $35, I think, and it's a buffet. And
sounds like the next Friends for Life podcast,
right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait till they play the mud hens, and we'll come on the opposite side.
There we go.
Even though I have no idea what's going on with the sports side of things, but I'll be there for the buffet. You can count me in on that.
Well, I'm telling you, the mud hens. When I went to Bowling Green, so that was like a big night out for us. We went to the mud hens, and they had like dime a dog night. So
don't have that anymore.
It would be like for a dime, you could get dinner. It was great. But you're right. That's a long time ago.
It's probably like $12 a dog
now.
Easily.
But it's like some little hot dog. Right.
So you said you offer cooking classes, something I also love. I do like to cook. Tony loves to cook as well. What kind of stuff do you make in the cooking classes?
It's when I first was in this position, they were making meals like these. It was great. But the reality of it is our individuals don't have that ability or that opportunity. Not that they don't have the ability. They really don't have in their normal everyday life the opportunity to make like these
gourmet feasts.
So we've kind of changed it to pre-COVID, we did like a tailgate. So how easy what can we make? Oh, some sliders. So we try to keep it to stuff that they can buy, but they're not heating a frozen meal in a microwave. Something that is very easy. They're not chopping onions. Like you can go to the store and get onions already chopped. Here's what you can do to make something really fun and easy.
Yes.
So sandwiches, make your own pizza, because you can buy all that stuff and make your own. So it's more of an easier meal that they can make, so they're not just throwing a frozen dinner in a microwave, which a lot of our guys who live on their own that's what they do.
So we're not talking Julia Childs here. We're
no,
talking.
they tried that. I mean, we had a staff person who taught the cooking class, and she was bringing in her rice cooker. And I'm like, well, this is great, but no one has a rice cooker at home. So
yeah. And But, I mean, realistically, I don't cook like that all the time either. I might get a wild idea every once in a while, and I'll cook something all crazy. But that's like maybe once a month.
We all try to make it easy. Like break and bake cookies. Hey, these are some homemade cookies, but you didn't have to mix anything up. You just break them and put them on. I mean, it's that kind of easy stuff.
Skills.
You're
teaching skills.
Right.
That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
Tony and I had an hour-long conversation on the way here about learning the basics before you try and get crazy with everything.
Exactly. So it's just fun stuff.
Awesome.
I absolutely love that. So we are about to embark on a journey called a game show named
Rapid Fire.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yes. Rapid Fire is a part of our show in which I ask you 3 would you rather questions.
Okay.
The quicker that you answer them, the better it'll be.
The quicker. Alrighty.
I typically have started intervening just to make it fun. Are you ready, Kathy?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm up.
Would you rather wear a formal dress at a swim party or a swimsuit at an opera? Dun, dun, dun.
Probably the formal dress at a swim party.
I think that would be hilarious.
I think I would wear the swimsuit at the opera.
I knew you would go that route.
I think that'd be fun if you could have like a cover up.
We went to a banquet or something a few months ago, and I dressed up in a giant cowboy hat, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy, and I loved it. It was so fun.
Everybody loved him, and he looks awesome. All right, question 2.
All right.
Would you rather buy 10 things you don't need every time you go to the grocery store or forget one thing every time you go to the grocery store?
Oh, I'd rather buy the 10 extra because somebody else can always use them.
Yeah,
I do not want to have to go back and get my one item that I need.
I feel like I'd buy 10 things I don't need every time I go to the grocery store regardless.
Well, and you're probably right. Yeah, you're right. I'm just thinking I can give those things away. That's okay. I'll save myself a trip.
All right. This one is kind of weird, but just roll with it. Would you rather have a personal maid who can't cook or a personal chef who can't clean?
Oh, man. Probably the personal chef. I would take the personal chef.
I would too.
We're just talking about food.
Dishes.
Yeah.
That's like a fair trade, honestly.
I think so too.
But I've cleaned so much in my life. I would love for others to do it like I do.
That would be really nice. But man,
the personal chef though.
Personal chef making like really good food.
Yes.
That'd be a treat.
Gordon Ramsay, where are you?
I don't know if that would be good for my midsection, but it would be great for my taste buds.
There you go. Happiness is on the tongue.
You're right. Oh yeah.
Well, we do want to thank you for coming in here today.
Thanks
and
for
we're really
me.
excited about the work you're doing and learning about the rec program. This is like the 4th or 5th county board we've been to, and I've never heard of that. So that's amazing that what you're doing.
We're really lucky. We're very, very lucky that we're able to do it.
This helps spread more information about it, that other county boards can try to get things on a level like this and push for it. I think it's definitely something that could be utilized and even to help reduce the stress on the agency providers.
Right.
Because agency providers are sometimes felt as if they need to do everything.
You're exactly right.
So
that's kind of how it's become.
Yes.
So if people are interested in learning more about what you guys do, or if there's people in Montgomery County who would like to get involved with the rec program, how do they learn more?
Right now on our the MCB DDS website, there's recreation information, our phone numbers, our email, so you can contact us directly and just learn a little more about. But mcbdds.org.
All right, and we'll put all that information in the show notes so people can find it very easily.
Cool.
And Kathy, thank you so much. We'll let
Thanks
you get back to your day.
Hey, it was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.